A Roman kid at 9 years old had already watched someone die in front of him. Not on a screen, right there in real life. And he didn't cry. He didn't freeze. He just moved on. You stress out when your Wi-Fi cuts off. That's the gap we're talking about today. And by the end of this, you're going to understand exactly how that gap happened. And more importantly, what it's quietly doing to your life right now. So what was it actually like being a Roman kid? Forget everything you picture. No cozy bedroom, no protected little world where adults filter out the hard stuff. Roman kids were thrown straight into adult life the second they could walk. By age 7, a Roman boy was already sitting in on political arguments, watching men get publicly humiliated, watching power play out in real time. His dad didn't sit him down and explain it. He just took him there and let him watch. And what that did to his brain was actually really simple. Every time something uncomfortable happened and he survived it, his brain learned something. That wasn't dangerous. I'm okay. I can handle
Fresh
that.
Oranges, sweet as honey.
Over and
They look
over
good. How
again
much? 3
for
a
years.
copper. Silks and
Psychologists
pottery,
today
finest in
call
Rome.
this
Make way.
stress inoculation, like a vaccine. Small doses of hard things, so when the big hard things come, you don't fall apart. The Roman kid wasn't doing this on purpose. It was just his life. But the effect was the same. His brain had one core belief hammered into it before he even hit 10 years old. Discomfort won't kill you. Now here's where it gets interesting, because the Roman kid wasn't just less fragile than you. He actually had less anxiety too, way less. And that makes no sense on the surface because his life was genuinely terrifying. Kids died all the time. Wars were constant. Your dad could be executed and your whole family sold by next Tuesday. More real danger, less anxiety. How does that work? I'll get to that in a second. But first, you need to understand something that's happening in your brain right now that the Romans accidentally protected themselves from. Something modern researchers only figured out recently. And once you hear it, you're going to start seeing it everywhere. There's a pattern scientists keep finding in anxious people. The more you pay attention to how you're feeling, the worse you feel. Not because you're weak, because that's literally how the brain works. When you keep checking in on your anxiety, your brain treats that check-in as a signal. Oh, we're monitoring this? Must be important. Must be dangerous. And it turns the volume up. Think about every tool we've built around this. Apps that track your stress levels. Watches that tell you when your heart rate is high. An entire language for describing exactly what flavor of anxious you are today. The Roman kid had none of that. No one asked him how he was feeling. No one gave him words for it. And so his brain never learned to spiral on it. Now, I'm not saying therapy is bad or that ignoring your feelings is the answer. That's not the point. The point is that somewhere along the way, we swapped actually doing hard things for just talking about hard things. And we convinced ourselves that was the same. It isn't. Here's the philosophy the Romans actually lived by. And you've probably heard the name, Stoicism. But I promise you, the real version is nothing like the polished quotes you see online. The actual idea was this: whatever is coming, want it. Not accept it. Not tolerate it. Want it. Marcus Aurelius was basically the most powerful person alive. He could have lived in pure comfort, and every single morning he chose cold, hard, uncomfortable work instead. His private journal, which he never meant for anyone to read, reads like a guy yelling at himself to stop being soft. Get up, Stop complaining. You were built for this. That wasn't him being miserable. That was him deliberately building an identity, choosing difficulty on purpose, so that when difficulty showed up uninvited, it felt familiar, not threatening. And here's what modern research actually backs up on this. When people frame hard things as part of who they are, not just something they're going through, their ability to push through them goes way up, like measurably, significantly up. The Roman kid didn't think of hardship as something happening to him. He thought of it as just him. But, and this is the part nobody talks about, that system had a massive flaw built into it. One that eventually helped bring the whole empire down. And when I tell you what it was, you're gonna realize the same flaw exists in you, just in the opposite direction. The same thing that made Roman soldiers unbreakable also made them dangerous in ways they couldn't control. They had no off switch. The toughness that worked on a battlefield became cruelty at home. The emotional shutdown that helped them survive war made them completely useless at anything that needed softness, negotiation, compromise, connection. By the time Rome was falling apart, the men running it couldn't adapt. The world needed something different from them, and they had no tools for it. They'd cut those tools out on purpose. Strength with no flexibility eventually just snaps. So here's where you come in. Your problem isn't that you're too soft. It's that you've confused feeling things with dealing with things. The Roman went too far one way. He felt nothing and called it strength. You've gone too far the other way. You feel everything, name everything, process everything. And somewhere in all of that, you forgot to actually do anything. The research on people who come out of hard times stronger than they went in, it's not the people who avoided the hard thing, and it's not the people who just got crushed by it. It's the people who walked into it on purpose, who decided in advance, this is going to change me, and I get to choose how. The Roman kid had no choice. His world was hard, and that was it. You have every choice. You have more information, more tools, more self-awareness than any Roman kid ever had access to. You can see your own patterns. You can choose your hard things deliberately. You can get the benefits of that stress inoculation without the cruelty, without the emotional shutdown, without the empire collapse. But here's the thing. Having the choice makes it harder, not easier. Because the Roman kid couldn't opt out. The difficulty just came. He had no option but to build the callus. You can opt out every single day. And something in your brain, something very old and very convincing, is always going to tell you to. The Roman kid was tough because he had no way to be anything else. You have to pick it. And that one difference, that's the whole game.